We're at CSC Ranches here in Pilot Point, Texas, and we're doing a series of videos in conjunction with Hoof Watch and the WCB for Goshen, Connecticut for the Goshen Stampede, where our judge will be Travis Smith. All right, we're making another shoe today from the Vulcan individual class from Vulcan Horseshoes, and it is a plain stamped Hind shoe with a toe clip, and it is made out of 1.25 by half by 12.5 inches long. It's 6 3/16 wide and 6 3/4 inches long. It's punched for E8, and it's got 7 of them, and it's forged flat. It's got a kind of a bumped up toe with a hammer drawn clip and boxing on both the heels. I'm gonna mark my stock 1/4 inch off center on edge, because I'm not gonna commit to the toe until I've got my toe set up. And so I'm gonna have about 1/2 inch more material on the lateral side to sweeten up the medial. All right, I got my toe pretty much narrowed down to just a third of it. What I want to do is I'm trying to get a little width. I'm not trying to make it a big roadster toe. I'm trying to make it a flat, wide toe. I got plenty of material in there. Just kind of flatten that up now. We're going to just crack this toe, and we're going to just get it as tight as we can. I'm going to push. I'm going to use this side of the horn. I'm pushing to pull the toe towards. If I'm down here, I'm going to weaken the toe. If I rest it right there, so I'm pushing up here and I'm pushing it down. Same with this side. Get it here. See, I'm pushing on the side and then I'm pulling it towards me. Now I'm going to come, my hammer's going to be flat with about where my toenail is, and it's going to be a drawing down motion. Pulling it down. Do the same here. This is a fairly tight toe. Going to get all this material in the center of the toe removed. If you think about it, the projection of where the branch goes is already almost 6 3/4. So we want to have not a narrower toe, but a tighter toe coming out this way. Just popping it closed right here won't do it. We want to have our branches coming more at an angle down. Otherwise, what you do is you overhook your quarter to make your foot look like it's got a frog in it. Just coming through and flattening it up again. All right, like we said, the toe is too wide, so I'm going to come right here, and I'm tightening the toe from right here. Can you see how I'm getting it going down more? Down, and then you turn right around and you do the other side. And push this toe down. Now you can see I've got the toe narrower, just like too wide. I want to bring it up, and the branches come down to my 1/6 and 1/8. And I don't want to be right on, but if I'm not in my quarter area about 6 inches, I have a lot of adjusting to do with the toe, and that just wrecks the shape of the shoe. What I'm going to do is I'm using the anvil as my square. And this is what, when you evaluate your shoes, you always want to have them square on the anvil. I've got my width of my shoe is pretty close at the quarter to being about 6 1/8. So if I know it's 6 1/8, I know that my toe is pretty true to the size shoe I'm making. So then I can come in here, square everything up, and mark my toenails. It really helps when you're going to draw your branches to mark your toenails, because now I have a transition point that I'm going to go from. It's very important when you start to draw your branches. If you draw your branches like this, you'll wreck your toe. So you need to keep your branches up here so when your hammer hits, it really cannot start to forge past your toenail. So whenever I hit, I won't be wrecking anything in this area. If I hit like this and I hit, it starts to take away from my toe and it changes the shape of my toe and it changes the shape of it. If I can keep my shoe up there where my toenail is, when I hit, even if I can't see if my toenail's square, it won't start to fuller the branch until after my toenail. All right, I got my toenail up here. Start my drawing and go right on through. Ease up towards the heel. And now forge my heel. Come back in and go all the way past center. Then come in, go all the way past center. And flatten out and start the whole process over again. The whole time I'm keeping my toenail up on the horn. I'll clean up the heel and run it down one more time. I'm going to forge the heel. Come in here and just kind of get it going right there in the toe. Now I know it don't make any contact on the corner, so I can just forge it on down. And then flatten it up real good. It's got to measure a little over 7 inches, 7 5/8. When we bend the quarter bend, we want to have the bend to where the shoe is slightly above, parallel to the floor, but the tong placement is the most crucial, because when people bend their toe and they're like this, the first hammer blow bucks it out and they've got no leverage. So when you bend your tong, you want to always have your tongs to where they counteract the impact of your hammer blow. So if I hit here, it's going to buck it up here. So I want to make sure that I go to the horn with my tongs facing down to where I have leverage to keep it tight on the horn. I don't want to let this bend so much that it pulls my shoe over the horn. I want to bend it down and constantly try and maintain the same place to where I push my toe down. Gonna get out on the tip of the bick, pushing down. I'm just hitting down, trying to keep it in the same place. You can see my toe dropping down at the same rate, and then swing it on around. Now we're just gonna follow my branch through and bend it on around. I've got my toe lined up, and now I just want to see if I got my frog in there. All right, I want to have, if anything, I'm just outside the center line of the stock. So I've got inside edge, outside edge, and then I got the center. I'm outside because I'm driving my nail hole down at the same pitch as the wall. So I can steer it. If I think I'm coming fine, I can steer it by dropping and having more pitch. So you're safer staying slightly outside and pitching more than you would be going coarse, because then you have to put on the brakes and you have to stand it up, which isn't for good nail fit and placement. All right, I'm just driving them down in there with a little bit of pitch. I don't want it to be full size. I want to get to the bottom in this aspect of it. Spin it around and try and keep it from a different point of view. Now I can kind of keep from getting my nail holes twisted in there. And I got my material, my nails down the center of material. I'm just gonna come in, fuller it down right where the nail is, and then come on right on through the whole thing. Towards my heel on there. Got it drawn out. We'll take one more good heat and finish drawing that branch out. Just gonna come in here. I'm kind of gathered up, so I'm just gonna flatten it real good. Come around the edge and then put my heel in there, constantly revisiting all of that. All right, locate about where the quarter's gonna be. My tongs are in a good spot. Keep it above as I bend it around. Once I get it around, now sweep it on through. There's not that much to it. Come in here and just iron the whole thing out. Now I got a nice flat surface. A little bit of angle, and keep your punch cool. I'm going to stay behind the horn and kick out my branch a little bit. And then come over the top. Down the center of the stock. So now we'll take our calipers and we put it at the edge of the nail hole. Take a scribe this side. I've got where I need to put my toe clip now. This will keep me my toenails from being racked. Just gonna flatten it out. Come in here and get me a pretty good angle. On the soft, just kind of make a good ledge to start with. I come in here and just use the edge of the face and just flatten up right to it. Flatten up right to it and just come behind the clip and just kind of get all that nice and flat. What I'll do is now that I've got my shoe, what I want to do is I want to make sure everything comes out of the toe clip. So now I'll either pick the medial or the lateral, let's say the lateral. We'll rework the branches, open them up with a nice punch for an E8 and get it shaped up. We start where the nail holes at, the heel nails at, and come and work right on through to the toe. This squares everything up with the toe clip. Then you turn right around and you come over the top. Just using a little bit bigger punch to set up for my E8. Grab it right here where your heel nail is and come on, push over and drive right on through to the toe clip. With my bigger head stamp, just kind of push those sides out. piling and brushing on it. We're about as close as we're gonna be to being done.